Yo, flag on the culture. We're here for another episode. Blessed, man. Blessed to see another day. Aaron, how we doing tonight?
Flag on the culture, man. We back at it again, giving y'all another episode, man. We got a special guest tonight, man. We got some hot topics. We got some good things coming. We got some good things going, man. And we ending this 2025 year strong, but also going into 2026 stronger. So shout out to everybody who's been paying attention to Flag on the Culture, man. We appreciate y'all throwing flags with us, man. It's been a pleasure having all of us here together. Just kind of fellowshipping and hot topics and things like that. So, man, Coach Ike, what's up, man? What's some hot topics for tonight? What we coming at them with? What we coming out the gates with?
So, man, like you said, Happy New Year's to everybody. We do appreciate everybody on this journey, especially for this year. And shout outs to you, bro. Shout outs to us being consistent and doing our thing. So we do have a guest, and we're gonna let him on. But let's go into this Alvin Kamara video real quick, and then we're gonna discuss it afterwards.
These cleats you had on the Christmas Day cleats, one green, one red, fire. Never been done before, never been seen before. They fined your ass for them.
Oh yeah, they definitely.
So you got a hefty NFL fine.
Yeah, they fined the shit out of me.
But then they put the cleats in the Hall of Fame.
No, they asked me to. They don't got them.
You sure?
Bro. Yes, of course. Why the fuck why would I give them to them?
And they fined you.
They fined me. And then they asked me if they can have them for the Hall of Fame. And guess what I did? I said, yeah, y'all can have them. Y'all got to pay me for them, though.
And
we don't do that. And I said, yeah, y'all do. But I'm not going to say who they paid for stuff.
Right.
But they do that. And they was like, nah, well, we don't. And I said, okay, well, y'all can't have them.
Wow. That's crazy.
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Y'all fine me and now y'all want to put it, no, N-O. Them shit sitting in, twin. They sitting in twin basement right now.
So, bro, what your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that video, that clip right there?
Man, I think they really ultimately just trying to be in more control. They trying to control the whole entire narrative. And they won't. Obviously, we know they've always wanted control, and they've always been the ones to control the narrative. But it's crazy how the situation played out like that, man. It's crazy how the situation played out like that to where he asked them to buy the cleats, and it resulted in him getting a fine. So, I mean, it's just I just think it's they taking away a freedom of expression, man. They taking away, they definitely doing their part on the NFL. It's just messed up, bro. That they are taking away a freedom of expression especially when it is something like my cause, my cleats, But I think, man, anybody in their right mind would have did what Alvin Kamara did, man, and I'm with him for that.
Not facts. I think, from my understanding, what people got to understand is the NFL Hall of Fame and NFL two different entities. So the NFL is the NFL is own company. So when the NFL find him, that's separate from the Hall of Fame. Now, at the same time, though, I say this all the time: players, because the NFL Hall of Fame, they charge people to go visit Canton, Ohio. They charge players to do events there and stuff like that. When I'm talking about events, I'm talking about getting accepted into the Hall of Fame. Like, they got to pay for food and all that. So I've been saying this. I thought more players. I've heard stories where their items will be missing and they find this in the Hall of Fame. I'm glad Alvin Kamara said this, and I think more players, and obviously, of course, they're paying for it, but they felt like they didn't need to with Alvin Kamara. But I'm glad people are standing up and like, man, if you're not gonna pay for it and you're gonna make money off of it, nah, that's not how it's gonna work. This is any other business, you're not allowed to do that. And actually, people honestly should go to court, but I guess the players feel like, hey, it's kind of cool that my jersey, my cleats, my gloves, whatever it is, that I did is in a Hall of Fame, but honestly, they should be making money off of it. Especially if people are going broke or in need due to once they retire. So no, that's not it. Yeah, it's not it. But man, our guest is here. Let's let him in. Let's let him in. There we go, man.
Big dog, what's going on with you?
Lance,
What up with it?
bro.
What's going on, bro?
What's happening?
Nothing much.
Good to
So,
see you, my boy.
Definitely, always good to see y'all, man.
so for those who do not know, man, right before Christmas, Blanche Mitchell, who was at John Muir High School, was just announced head coach of the St. Francis Knights, man. First of all, bro, we talked already. Welcome to the show and congratulations to you and your family, man.
Nah, man, I first off, man, y'all doing some good stuff on this platform, man. I'll be checking y'all out, man. This is some great topics, some great guests. Man, we need more of this, right? The honest opinions coming from a educated, standpoint. But nah, man, shout out to y'all, man. I love what y'all doing right here. And thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. It's God is good, man. It's a blessing. It definitely is.
Yeah, man. So just to start it off, man, this is you know, I know because we had an opportunity to coach together when we was at Arcadia and to see the growth. But what did it feel like, bro, when you finally knew that you were gonna be the next head coach at St. Francis?
Man, it was a lot of mixed feelings, to be honest. It was a lot of mixed feelings. The welcome that I got from over there uh was just crazy. I really appreciate how sensitive they were to, what I was going through, in the sense of leaving, my alma mater and you know, leaving a program that, I love dearly. Um, the way they handled that was, I appreciated that and they really just, opened up their arms to me and took me in. So I appreciated them for that. And then just the being getting a chance to think about what we was able to accomplish, was felt good. It felt good. But as as we talked about, it was definitely bittersweet. It's hard to create relationships with young men at this time in their lives and then leave. So it was hard to do. I had mixed feelings. Happy for the opportunity that I was getting, and appreciative of the way they was able to open up the doors for me, and also a little saddened by what I was leaving behind.
Yeah, man, it's a full circle moment for you though, man. I know a lot of people don't know that you actually went to St. Francis as a player.
Yeah.
Um man, tell the people about the full circle moment, man. Just for the simple fact of um people not thinking it's just a random hire. And even if it's a random hire, it's a great hire. But just talk about the roots that you have already installed and the seeds that you've kind of already planted there as a player, and now that you living in this full circle moment.
Yeah, man. I mean, if from our area, we've had some great athletes go to St. Francis, and I was privileged to attend St. Francis as a freshman. Um, and it's always been a piece of our community, to be honest, whether we you know like to believe it or not, right? It's a lot of great families from our city, with great history and great tradition from our city that have gone over there and done some great things. So for me, going over there and going through the process uh, was special during that time. Um, and then for me right now, it's also being able to see where think back to where my mind was when I went there and when I decided to leave. What that what all went into me making those decisions at the time. So it definitely was full circle. right? And there's still people there that were there when I attended St. Francis. So being able to connect with them and hearing stories about, that I wasn't aware of from when I was, at St. Francis, and all of that was, it's kind of neat, right? It's neat to think about all the connecting pieces and everything that went into me, being a person that could get this job, and then just another coach, right, in the space where we can change some of the things that limit the people from our community to go to a place like St. Francis. So for me, it was definitely full circle, and definitely was a cool thing to kind of sit back and take in.
Now you mentioned, how hard it was to leave Mir, and for people who do not know, you won a CIF your first year at Mir. You attended Mir through high school, like you said, after you left St. Francis, and you guys recently just went to the playoffs and lost a hard fought game that came down to the end. I want to know, bro, what have you heard though from the community, because you were a pillar at Mir, and it's not just in Mir and youth football and what you do in the community as well. What have been the things that you've been hearing from community, rather good or bad?
Man, it's been majority, good, man. I mean, our community is so tight knit. Everybody knows everybody. The degree of separation from, who I may know to who the next person may know is really small. So, you get to hear, kind of what's being said, the rumors and things like that. And for me, man, it's been extremely positive, right? It's been extremely positive. Everybody is congratulating me and happy for me. And I've had some tough conversations also, right? Because it's a lot of people that was invested in what we were doing at Mir and the things we were able to accomplish at Mir. So it was tough having some conversations and hearing people out and understanding really at this point is being able to empathize with people, right? And that's all a part of the process, man. And for me, it was just uh, being delicate to that, right? To the people and certain young men and certain families that we've grown really really close with. That at this point we won't be uh, in the same space, right? I'll always be uh, someone that they can count on in the sense of just being there for them. But in the same manner that we have been, that chapter is kind of ended. So just being sensitive to what they're going through. Yeah, it's been a process that I've just kind of learned to experience it, right? Feel it, right? I know a lot of times if we feel uncomfortable, sometimes we like to rush through that. But for me, man, it's been taking my time in it, right? And allowing people to, to say how they feel. But for sure, majority and even the hard conversations, it's been all love, man, and that's what's neat about where we come from. And we love hard, right? We love hard, and that's why it was difficult to make the decision ultimately.
Yeah, man. And for the people that don't know, man, like I've been somebody to watch you. You've trained me. You dropped gems on me before playing. Um, man, just tell people like just give people a little snippet of your resume, man. Like where you went after high school, after college, and things like that. Just so even for the ones that may think they know, or for the ones that do know, just refresh their memory a little bit. Even as far as professional ball and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's we all got our journeys, and for me, like we mentioned, it started, uh, as a freshman. I went to St. Francis, and even before that, man, I like to go back to the roots, right? Jackie Robinson Park and Pasadena Ponies, and what that did for me, and what that did for a lot of young men in our community, right? Whether you played at Robinson or you played at Victory with the Panthers, but that's where it started, and From there, yeah, I had the opportunity to go to St. Francis, where I played my freshman year. Then after that year, I went and transferred back home to John Muir High School, where that's kind of where I grew up at, and always seen myself going. And then in that space. Uh, and I'll just tap into this just real quick, just in that space of going to St. Francis, being able to connect with certain people. Jim Bonds, who was amazing coach, even better person from St. Francis. Um, I was able to create those relationships that really helped me throughout my career. Right. A story that just recently came up was the fact that um, before I committed to Oregon State, um, um, Coach Nigel Burton, who was the DB coach at Oregon State when I committed, originally didn't know much about who I was, right? But went to St. Francis first, and Jim Bonds was the guy who pointed him toward to me, man. So those type of situations that you know that happen all the time, as you guys know, man. It's about the relationships and the people you know. But from there, I went on from John Muir High School, graduated, and went to Oregon State, where I played, had a decent career there, and had a short opportunity with the Jets. Um, and then when that was, when that time ran out, and I didn't make the team, got cut, and came back home, and I had a daughter at the time, and for me, I've always said that I wanted to make sure that I was present. And while I was playing college ball, I told myself I wouldn't uh, chase it longer than I needed to, because of my daughter and the family that I had. So when I came home, I you know started working a little bit, and coaching. In fact, I'll say this: I didn't get into coaching right away, just because it was too hard. Man, I had a real early midlife crisis when football was over, and I know we've talked about that a lot, Arness, and that was tough for me, right? And Quan Sims, who's going to be on my staff over at St. Francis, was a person that reached out and kind of seen the struggle I was going through at the time, and invited me to John Muir, where I first started coaching. Um, and then from there, I went on to LA Valley Junior College, where I coached for 2 years. I coached DBs at LA Valley. Um, and then from there, I went to Arcadia and was there for, I want to say, about 8 years, 7, 8 years. I can't think the exact number. But then from there, I went on to be the head coach at John Muir High School, where, we've had a good run for the last 4 years.
Nah,
Yeah, that
man.
is incredible. All this has to do with all this has to do with like connection based, network based, and not to take away from your hard work, from what you've done to put yourselves in those positions, man. But what has, like, man, that sounds like a roller coaster, man. So like throughout those things, what is something that now, like, you could tell younger Lance, or not even younger Lance, what is something that you could tell a younger person growing up that's wanting to be a coach? Like, what is some things that this has taught you, that you could give game back to some guys, to where, they kind of don't step on those same cracks that you stepped on, or, they kind of don't walk down those aisles or roles or anything like that. Like, what's some things that you can, let them know what to do, what not to do, and man, and even how to change their character, even how to change for certain rooms and stuff like that. Like, what's some things that, you've learned along the way?
Man, honestly, what comes to mind is my favorite Bible verse is Romans 8:28. Um, all things work together for the good for those who love the Lord and called according to his will, man. And really what that means is everything, every single thing is gonna work together, right, for you to become who you need to become, and who God sees you as. And for me, um, that's what I would tell people, man. It's so cliche. Trust the process, right? Trust the process. Like that's so cliche, but it's so true, right? For me, man, being able to coach at a certain level, starting with youth and training, um, D. Rule, who was a guy that, similar to how we kind of connected, and I helped you, a little bit as you were training and still playing. D. Rule was a guy that tapped into me early, and would help me out when I came back from college, and we would work out, and he would give me the gyms that he had. But to come back and start, training younger kids, man, and younger guys. But that grind, right? Working, training, trying to find any way to give back the knowledge that I was given, right? That was something that was on my heart, and like you guys know, because you guys have done it at a high level as far as training, and that piece of having so much inside of you, right? So many years of putting blood, sweat, and tears into the game, but wanting to give that back because what else do we do with it? Um, but for me, that's what I would say to young guys, man, is trust the process and try don't skip any steps, right? Don't skip any steps, man. Um, create relationships at the lowest level, right? And that's technically right. I mean, like by working with young kids, right? That's just starting off in the sport or any sport as a coach, right? Start developing the technique and the fundamentals there, man. I would say for coaches, man, don't negate, right, or think any less of those guys that are tapping into those young athletes. But then also understanding that relationships is the catalyst, is the biggest thing when you want to grow in this field, right? Is building relationships, and that's building relationships with players, right? Building relationships with future, right, with the youth, so that there is a future for you in this game, but then also building relationships with the people, the parents, the other coaches, right, and being able to learn from everybody, right. And that's one thing that I think I've tried to you know, be consistent with, is being able to learn from every single person, whether that's a learning from a player, right? Learning from other coaches, and just learning from people that want to give information. Yeah, obviously all information isn't good information, but being open to hearing it, um, chewing on it a little bit, and understanding trying to understand where they're coming from, and seeing how you can apply it if it fits, right? I think that's something that for me, I've always seen as a way to grow.
So, bro, you're gonna go down in the Hall of Fame in Pasadena just off the simple fact that you've already won a CIF at Mir, which hasn't been done um, in a long time there, and then you're everything Pasadena, and I want to know what why do you think your name is more important than anything? Because I want to stay in this vein as far as coaching, because there's a lot of coaches who are capable, who are deserving, but not everyone has that name where it's like, I'll stand on a table for that person. How important is that? Where I believe you won Coach of the Year, I think 1 or 2 times now. So, you are able to be approached. Everybody in the community loves you. How important is that as a coach to have a good name where when it comes up, people are talking in a good manner and not necessarily in a negative one?
Man, I think it's man, it's maturing, right? It's maturing. I've had the days where, as a coach, you're always gonna have, get some criticism because it's your fault, right? And that's just the truth of the matter. It's your fault when things don't work out the right way or the way people might want it to work out. It's gonna be your fault. And for me, it's maturing in the space that um, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, right? Everybody, they can have that. It doesn't mean that they're right. It don't mean that they're wrong, right? It's a lot of things that I've heard about myself as far as coaching that hurts, right? But in the moment, I might have justified whatever it is I was doing. But as I grow, and as I look back at certain situations, there was some truth in what they were saying and how they felt. And for me, at this point, is being able to separate the opinion from the person, right? And that's sometimes hard to do, right? I'll hear something. And our city is so small, you'll hear somebody's opinion about a call you made or something you did, and in our small city, you're gonna run into that person. And for me, it's being able to shake that dude hand and give him love and you know move forward. And most times, not even in addressing it, right? Because a lot of times it isn't where do you go from there, right? They feel this way. They think you should have did this, or this is the way that you should have handled this. But you didn't do it that way, and it's really no way to turn back the hands of time and do it over. So for me, it's just loving that person up for who they are, and the fact that they care, right? If they got an opinion, it's because they care, right? So for me, it's separating people's opinion from from the actual person, right? And I think that's what you have to do as a coach at this level. Um, you have to take people for who they are, and take every situation individually, right? If you hold grudges, or you're mad at somebody because maybe they said something, it's gonna just make things harder for you, I would say.
Man, that's powerful, bro. Coming from somebody from a city where we so quick to jump on something, you know what I'm saying? So that's powerful in a sense of just knowing who's around us. Um, Man, and that, like you said, that shows a lot of maturity with you knowing your environment and knowing the people around you and just knowing how to move within your environment. So man, as we all know, man, your experience has done have done a lot for you as far as you realizing things and putting yourself in situations. But man, bro, you've been in just about every situation, about every position as far as like coaching. Um, what are some goals that you had before you signed up to be a head coach that you achieved? And what are some goals as going into a new program? What are some goals that you have further in your coaching career? And it's a two-part question, so you can answer them
Yeah.
one and one.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's a really good question, man. I think when I first started, right, it was about wins, right? Everybody wants to win, right? That's important. That's why you play sports, right? Is to compete, and you compete to win. So it was about winning. And for me, I've been on every side of it, right? I've been blown out in some of the biggest games. The Turkey Tussle been beat probably by the biggest margin Mirror's ever been beaten, right? And I've felt that. I've been on the other side of some blowouts, right? And those are a part of the game. But also losing close games and winning close games, and all that is something that comes with coaching. But for me, man, it was about winning first, right? And we were able to do that. But as I've gotten you know a little more experience in this, man, and had more life experience, for me, man, I've always I got into coaching. I'll start here. I got into coaching because of my pops, right? My pops, has been coaching in the area for the last 40 years, 50 years. I don't know how old he is, but yeah, he's been coaching for a long time, and I've always looked at him as Superman. He's always been somebody that I wanted to be. And in our life, man, I've been able to see the moments where guys have come back and we'll run into somebody that he's coached before, and he'll tell them, Coach, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for you. You was the only person that picked up the phone when I was locked up. You was the only person that took me to church when I was a kid, or you was the only person that really gave me opportunity. And those moments uh, really stood out to me as I got older and got to see grown men, come and give him and show him that type of love and appreciation. And I looked at that as something that I wanted, right? I wanted young men to feel like I contributed to who they were, right? And the successes and them growing and them becoming men, right? That's something that is a goal, has been a goal for me, right, for a few years now, and is now a big part of why I do what I do. So yeah, that's definitely a goal. And what was the second part of that question? Kind of what?
The second part was going into a new program. What are some goals that you haven't accomplished within your last program, or are you still in the same position of, all right, I've done this here, I'm gonna go take this and I'm gonna go over here, because we all know how the mindset can how you could take, how, what is this? How do I want to say it? You could take a person out of Pasadena, but you can't take Pasadena out the person. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? So, and I know we all wise enough, and I just say that for some people who might be in a position that you're in now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
like, what are some goals? Like, are you moving the same way you moved when you were at your previous school going into this one, or do you have new goals? Like, what are some new goals that you have, or are you going in the same way?
Um, honestly, man, I think the goals are the same, right? What I wanted for the young men, what I wanted for the program at Mir is the exact same as what I want for the young men in the program here at St. Francis. Like it is the same. I think it requires me to be a little different, right? The goal is the same, but it requires me to change a little bit, just because it's a different environment, right? It's new things that I have to learn, right? And that would I believe that would be the case if I stayed, right? If I stay the same, then how do we get better, right? How does the program get better, right? So for me, man, it's just growing, right? And when you talk about like you know bringing Pasadena to St. Francis, I got to do that. That's just who I am, and that's what's gotten me this far is being who Pasadena has made me, and I think that's what's neat about our city, man. And I've said this in numerous of conversations, man. You know, we so unique in the fact that you can drop me off in the projects, and I'm gonna feel good, right? I'm gonna feel comfortable, right? But you can drop me off at the White House, and I don't know if I want to be there, but you know I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna be able to hold conversation and do what I need to do to you know to be
Exactly.
a value to that space. So um I think that's who we are as a community, right? Northwest Pasadena, Altadena, specifically. I think we're able to do that just because of our environment. We've experienced. I've experienced a lot in the sense of I've been some places and I've also struggled in some areas. So I think that's a part of who I am, right? And I think that's what I want to bring specifically to St. Francis because, although I do feel like St. Francis is a part and has always been a part of our community, um, it's always kind of been the school on the hill, right? So how do I connect that dot, right? How do I make St. Francis accessible to the average person, right? The person that maybe felt like it was unattainable, right? That's definitely a goal of mine is making sure that every single student athlete or just student, if that's the case, feels like St. Francis is attainable.
Staying in that lane, what is your top two priorities coming up there? Because I know last year St. Francis dealt with some injuries, so they didn't have the best season. So what are your two top priorities as far as what you want to do as a coach to set your culture?
Man, it's just that it's recreate the culture, man. The tradition at St. Francis is rich, man. They've had a strong football tradition there for a really long time, and for me, it's to kickstart it, right? It's to get it ignited again, and for me, the way I do that is with the energy, right? It's with the groundwork that I've kind of been doing for, my whole coaching career is getting out and being active, right? I was around when the 7-on-7 scene, was just starting, and I seen what it was and what it did and what it's capable of doing. I don't like all of it for sure, but athletes are there, right? And I'll be there if that's where they are, right? And for me is just to bring a new energy that for me is just a part of coaching, and not to say that uh, you know what was going on there, it didn't have that. I think the reason they went in a different direction, um, wasn't because the Coach Dean, who I got so much respect for as far as football is concerned. Man, that dude is a genius when it comes to coaching the game of football. But as far as what I bring, is the energy. So I'm gonna be in the weight room with him. And that's always been a part of what I wanted to do is be active, be able to challenge young men in a space where they feel like coach is willing to get dirty with us, and that's a part of it, that they'll see, and that goes with even the training that we wanna bring to St. Francis. I know sometimes. Again, St. Francis seems far away, right? The campus seems closed off. I just want to open up the doors, right? Come get after it. Come see how we get things done over here, right? So those are two things that I want to do. I want to open up the gates and make sure people are there on campus. Whether that's at a football camp, whether that is just coming to check out practice, right? I want people around the program and seeing how we do things, but then also me getting out and doing the groundwork, being at the in the spaces where kids are competing.
Yeah, I love to hear that, man. I also it's now we know where we from. we get the people who feel like they automatically on the train with you. They automatically in the back seat. They automatically in the passenger seat, man. And we had Trump on here, and he just had to set it straight. And we don't have a problem with letting asking these type of questions, because this is a type of segment this is, and what type of platform this is. So, man, for the guys that's like, man, Lance, you doing this janky, man. You took off on us, man, and you went to St. Francis. You got to get my son in there. You got to get my daughter in there, man. Like, you got to get them in there, but they only had a 2.7. They only had a 2.7, mind you. But they like, man, so what? You over there, you plugged in. Like, I know how it goes, man. Like, I know how your resources work. I know how you work, Lance. So, man, like, what's the first thing you want to put out there and let people know, man? Like, and just being straight up and just put it out there.
To be honest with you, the reason why I think we're gonna be able to do a good job over here is because I am accessible, right? I ain't the best with my phone, but when you do get in contact with me, when you do, we do get a chance to sit down and chop it up. I'm gonna have a conversation, right? And if it fits, then I'm gonna make it happen. If it don't fit, it just don't fit though, right? And I'm those are the conversations that when you sit in this seat again, people gonna have opinions. People gonna feel some type of way, right? But when they see me, it's gonna be hard to be mad at me, because I'm gonna give you a hug, right? I'm gonna love you up even when you mad at me. You feel me? So it's hard to feel some type of way for very long, right? And then at the end of the day, it's gonna be a you issue. But if I have access, and it fits, then they got access. And if it don't fit, I'm still willing to have a conversation. And I think that's the difference between coming to a St. Francis or going to a Bosco, a Sierra Canyon, right? Granted, we trying to reach out to the whole San Gabriel Valley, Southern California. If you want to come to St. Francis and we got a chance to get you there, we're gonna try. But the difference is I'm accessible, right? When I say being able to relate, I want you to pull up and come holler at me. what up, man? What can you do for me? And I'm gonna tell you, right? If I can't do much for you, I can't do much for you. But we can have a conversation. That's really the point I want to make is that's why we different, right? We will be different, right? Is yeah, everybody ain't gonna get through the door, but everybody's gonna be treated with some type of respect as far as giving a conversation and exercising whatever whatever we can do to make it work, because unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to help as many of our kids. When I talk about our community, I'm not going to be able to help as many. But the goal is still to help my community, right? So what does that look like? That means, if there's a kid that has a slither of a chance, right? I'm going to get that kid, right? And I'm going to try to figure out how to make it work. And just because just because they not at St. Francis, right, doesn't mean I can't be a resource either, right? So that's why you got to have those conversations too, is because maybe it don't fit here, but check it out. John Mayer gonna still have a great program right there. Coach Maxey down at Baldwin Park, right? Coach Duval at St. Pius, man, and just a number of other programs, right? That for me personally, right, I would reach out and and put people in the best situation that I can, right? But it all comes from the conversation, right? So for me, man, is even though I'm tired, even though it may not look like it's gonna work or I'm gonna be able to do something, I'm gonna still have the conversation.
Yeah, that's real. That's about it, really. Yeah.
And by you leaving, bro, a lot of people going back to them dogs too. You know that, right?
Yeah. Nah, I understand that. And what's crazy is man, Coach Jones and D Sham and Pitt, my people's Pitts and them, what they doing over there is crazy, right? It would have became, we seen what happened in the Turkey Tussle this week. It would have grew, and I think it still can grow to become again one of the better, rivalries as far as competing that there is out there. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things work out, man. But for me, it's always gonna be.
7 o'clock.
It's always gonna be the Stains, right? It's always gonna be Dog K. When it comes to that game. Other than that, man, I love y'all. If it ain't Turkey Tussle week, I love y'all.
Yeah, man. So, man, we got one more subject. We want to talk football outside, kind of like what's going on in college, and then we'll let you go, man. So we're gonna share this video and then get your take on it.
You have the JV squad or the second tier team that plays FCS football. I went down to IMG Academy a couple months ago and had an interesting conversation about some of these programs that have all these resources. Like, why not have a second team at some of these programs like in Penn State? Why doesn't Penn State have what you call like the JV squad or the second tier team that plays FCS football, that plays Division II football, where like it's the second tier players? I think it's an interesting concept of like you have all the resources already that would add more athletes to the table and not cut sports, not cut Olympic sports, not cut all these players from actually getting an opportunity.
So for people who don't know, there's already some teams that already like this, but he's talking about like major. So I know like Wagner State, a couple of teams in their division, they already have like a JV team where they get to play, but at the same time they don't waste a red shirt. Now I'm not understanding like what he means there, like at a Penn State and stuff like that. But what is your thoughts about this, and then just the whole thing with college football right now, where we're at?
Man, I hadn't heard that. I mean, I would like to know how new is that, man? Because that's I haven't thought through it the whole, how that would work and stuff like that. But the initial idea of having, right, JV, and that's actually what it used to be. Way back in the day, it used to be that teams had a lower level, a freshman team that would play and compete. I love that idea because as we know, what recruiting and what NIL and transfer portal and all that, what that's done to the high school student is harsh, right? It's pretty tough out here for high school students to get recruited straight out of high school. And for me, if they still had that opportunity to get those scholarships and be able to go get away from home and play at some big time programs, but still not not be able, not waste a year or not have to go JC to lower level to trying to transfer to make it to a Power Five type of school. I think that could fix a lot of the issues that I have with the system, right? I think it could fix a lot of the issues. And I think they do have the resources, right? There's more than enough money out there to allow kids to go get an education, right? And not have to bounce around and think about, and this is what I tell kids now, high school kids is man, the negative part of what the transfer portal is doing is not giving you the opportunity up front. But what it does do is it extends the lifespan of a college student, right? If I don't get the offer that I wanted off the bat, it's not over, right? Where that kind of was the case when we were coming out, right? You either got you got what you wanted, or you went JC and you did what you did and then got what you wanted. Those are the two opportunities. Now you have more opportunities to grow and to go to higher levels, and that's that is positive, right, in the sense that the journey is a lot longer than what it used to be. But given the chance that they can go and be recruited in the similar fashion as what we were recruited, but obviously make it feasible on the other end, because it just is. It's just hard for a college coach to go get a high school kid, when the turnover is so fast, right? When the transfer portal is open and you lose starters, and you can't replace starters if you want to compete in college at a high level. You can't replace starters with high school kids. You just can't, right? So it's a trickle down effect, and if high school kids got the opportunity to go and develop, I redshirted. Right when I got to school, even though I felt like I was ready to play, I had a chance to travel to a couple games, but I redshirted, right? And I needed it. When I look back, I needed that year to develop. So, that to me, that's what that sounds like is giving kids a chance to not only develop but to then compete also.
Yeah.
Oh man, sounds like a win-win. Sounds like a win-win. And I would definitely, if I had a vote for that.
I think it can be good, like you said, just because I have a couple of players who been in that environment where they did play JV. If they do it correctly, and it is two separate coaching staffs though for that. So it's not just one coaching staff, because if coaches don't have the time already with the kids they have now on a regular. So if they have two separate coaching staff, and now, like you said, its focus is development, not necessarily like just teaching fundamentals and teach you how to play your position, stuff like that. I think it can be some great good. And now you can retain your talent. You also help coaches because now you're building coaches' resume up. They don't need to leave because they're not looking for stability. You kind of get some stability. So I think it can be a great thing if they structure it correctly and whatnot. What's your thoughts about that, Aaron?
Man, I think we all in the same boat. I think we all float in the same direction. Man, I like that. I like it to. I was just gonna ask how would it be, but you just explained it to me. With bringing in other coaches, because I know how busy coaches are. So my thing is, I would just like, for me, would they be full scholarship athletes?
Mm-hmm.
They'll be full scholarship. Okay, so this is pretty much an NFL practice squad team. Pretty much. How many games are they giving them? Are they giving them a full season? Because if you're giving them can they get moved up to the actual college team?
Well, how it currently is now, I think they play like 4 or 5 games, and there's a possibility they can play up.
Oh yeah, man, run it up. Run it up. That's something that they should have. I think that should have. Soon as NIL came out, the transfer portal shit came out, They should have for sure installed that. They should have been had that. They should have knew that that was something that would help kids. That would just help the whole everything. And then they don't want to do it because they got to pay more people.
Yeah.
But they got it to do it. So, man, I think that is one of the most wise. That's one of the wisest decisions that you could do at a university. Along with the girls flag football. You know what I'm saying? Along with the girls flag football, you implement that just like you implementing girls flag football. So I mean, it's I think that's great, bro. I think that's genius. I think it's honestly something that man, what we got to push for. We got to talk to.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why
For
I
sure.
didn't like it, one of the reasons why I didn't like it because even though you're playing in games, it's now like you're at this university, but you're not getting the same crowd. On top of this, you get to play, but your body also gets beat up though too, and there's really no reward for it. Like there is what did you say, Lance?
Develop, bro. You're here to
I was
develop,
going.
bro.
I was going to say, but what's the
Like
what's the counterpart? Because if you don't get the opportunity and you go JC, is your body not still getting beat up? Right.
But
I feel like you still.
I mean, you trying to make it.
But
You trying to make it. That's the.
That I'm saying that film doesn't equate. Like they're not going to use that film though if you get in the portal. That's what I'm saying.
My idea though, my idea is that you've done enough. You've done enough as a high school student to spark the interest already, right? You got the scholarly, right? You're where you were trying to get to, right? But now because you're not you're not ready. We still, the portal is still open, so you just giving yourself more lifestyle. And some kids, well, sure, they'll get up there and never see the field, never make it to varsity, and that might be their journey, right? Their story. But it's a lot of guys that went to college and got scholarships and never touched the field, and they played on the practice squad their whole career. That's just a part of it, right? If you don't get better, if you don't open up eyes, if you don't get the opportunity, it's on you at that point, right? And it's obviously a lot of politics and stuff that's going to go into that, but that's always been there, right? But again, I think it's good because you achieve something. You're going to college, you're getting paid for, right? And now you're in front of, at least on the campus, playing football, playing the game, right? If I was a coach and I was a Power 5 big time college coach, and I recruited a high school kid that maybe wasn't going to start, and he can go and develop and get real football reps, I would definitely give him a scholarship and have him come to my campus and already be there, right? Then to have to let him go and then go recruit him again, like, nah, we're just gonna put you on our farm system. We're gonna get you ready, and then when I think you're ready, you're gonna come play, right? Because that also it's like now guys are jumping in the transfer portal, right? You got a guy that's in in our system, right, or in our program. You lose a guy that maybe jumps in the portal. That you may have to go get another guy out of the portal, but you may have that guy in your program.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. Yeah. So, Lance, I want to ask you this question.
They stipulations on it, bro. No portal for freshmen. Where the hell is you getting in the portal for anyway? You barely got this scholarship, and you not even on the varsity team. No portal for the freshmen, man. What are y'all doing?
I like that.
You can't count these kids, man.
Yes, man. Yes.
You in the portal for you barely got accepted you got accepted off of good grace. So shit.
So how many? Because we know how many people who have been told they was if in this day and age, if you go somewhere as a freshman, you are a highly recruited athlete. Wouldn't you agree? So how many people do we know they was told something and they get up there, it wasn't it, and they need a bounce? It's not that they not good. They just they was lied to.
Nah, because most times if I them scholarships is few and far between now. It ain't as many. Them stories happen. I'm not saying that those stories don't happen, but these is coaches' jobs on the line. So if I got a kid that can play and he's in, again, I tell parents this all the time when we get the argument of why my kid is not playing. Listen, if he was gonna help me win, why would I not put him in the game if he was gonna help
Exactly.
me win? Am I trying to lose? Do I want to lose this job? I mean, it don't even make sense for me not to put him in the game if he was gonna help me win. Now, are there politics? Am I playing this game? That means that that kid is just too close to the other kid, right? The talent, the you made a mistake that put you too close. You got to be that much better in order to beat this kid out. That's just a part of the game too, right? So, nah,
So
I definitely, yeah.
let me ask you this, Lance, and then we let you go because we talked about this last segment. Do you think there is more coaches in college who are able to develop or not?
I would say this: there are coaches still out there that can develop. There are still coaches out there that can develop. I know them. I love them. They doing it the right way. Now, I would say that because of the nature of college football, there are more coaches that just recruit better. Recruiting is how you keep your job, and if you got a coach that develops and you got a coach that recruits, most time they're gonna go with the guy that can recruit. And that's unfortunate. I feel like because I'm just I love the game and I love the development part, but there's still guys out there that's doing a hell of a job developing guys, right? But it's almost like as a program, as a head coach, why I'm risking it if I go get a guy that's going to develop. But how does he develop when you bring in a freshman and he bounces on you like like we just talked about? How can I develop him? Yeah, we ain't even getting a real chance to develop at this point. So, you know, as far as where do I spend my money as a head coach and trying to build my program, I'm at this point I'm kind of forced to spend my money on a guy that can go out and recruit. If that guy is if I'm paired or compared to a guy that can develop, I would have to go with the guy that can recruit.
Facts. Well, Lance, man, appreciate you, bro, man. Much success to you and happy New Year's to you, man.
Man,
thanks for coming on, my boy, man, and for some of the parents that that don't want to say nothing, man, just still send your love to them, man, because it's gonna be a lot that miss you. But man, I know, we all know, man, this is a man, this is a pillar in life right here that we can't let pass by. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful that you in this position. I've always been thankful, that you've been in my life. You know what I'm saying? But for some of these people that's like, man, Lance always been there for me. Lance always been there, man. Like, and I don't want to holler at him because I know like it's gonna mess up our relationship. What's to some of them people, bro? Like to some of them people that's just holding it into their heart, bro. Like, man, what's something that you want to tell some of those folks, bro?
man, come holler at me. I'm determined. It's a goal of mine to make sure that people know that I'm still here, right? I'm still like I said, accessible, right? You can still reach out, and it's an open door policy. If you want to come up and once I able to get the office situated over there at St. Francis, come pull up and let's talk about it, man. Because again, if we got coaches that still only coaching football just because of football, then they doing it wrong, right? With all due respect, they doing it wrong, man. It's so much more as far as life is concerned that football brings, and I would say, man, that I'm just not a football coach. You know, simply put, I'm not just a football coach. So come talk to me, tell me how you feel, right? And I'm gonna tell you how I feel, right? Because I feel a certain way too. So, but at the end of the day, for those people, right? I love them, right? I love them, and I really just want to be able to tell them that to their face, right? Because we need to hear that too. So, I got love for them, man, and I would love, I would want nothing more than to have a conversation so that um, we can express how we feel, right? So that it's no gray area because it's a lot of that too, right? It's a lot of times where because people feel a certain type of way and they don't want to have a conversation. Now there's walls put up that don't need to really be there, right? And then with walls being put up, sometimes we miss out on opportunities, right? When we could have had those conversations and kept communication flowing and doors open, to create more opportunity. So, man, please, man, just reach out, right? reach out, man. So, man, I appreciate again, man. I appreciate what y'all doing here, man. Ness, you already know, how I feel about you, big dog. I love you, man. And then, Ryan, you know what it is, bro. I love y'all, bro. Y'all doing a heck of a job. Y'all doing a heck of a job, right here, bro. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate what y'all doing.
Much love,
Yeah,
bro.
appreciate
Much
you for
love.
coming on, my boy.
You already know. You already know.
All right, my guy. I'll talk to you, man.
Love y'all. All right.
Love, man.
Gone.
So, man, congrats again. Shout out to Lance Mitchell, man. Legendary in the area, bro. Doing some big things. And can't wait, man, for the success, bro. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. What's your thoughts? Your thoughts, man? Just talking to Lance.
Oh, bro, Lance always been somebody who I was inspired by. Really just because I played quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And then seeing that you could be an athletic quarterback in high school he kind of like inspired me to, kind of just, have that confidence and stuff like that. But then also seeing that staying in Pasadena and making it out of Pasadena, man, like one of the in my generation, one of the first and one of the few, um, along with you guys, you know what I'm saying? But I think he's one of the few to go straight from high school um, to Division One. So, man, it's always good having guys from the city, give back, come back. And what I want y'all to know, man, a lot of people I want y'all to know, man, shit, he didn't did his time. So shit, he didn't did his time. He didn't did everything in his possible power. And if y'all abuse the power, if you was a athletic director and you didn't open up this door for him at the time that he was there, look what happened.
Oh.
The ship sails, man. So y'all got to treat people good when these people around you, especially when these great people around you and these people that got the experience for these things that they doing, because we wouldn't be doing these things if we didn't have the experience and if we weren't true natural developers. You know what I'm saying? Like ultimately life was hard for all of us in a form or fashion. So we just want it to be as easy as possible for the kids we come around, the kids that we encourage, the kids that we inspire, and the kids that even some of the kids that don't even know some of us. You know what I'm saying? If they see some of these clips and it inspires them. So man, that's awesome, bro. I'm proud of my boy, man, and I'm proud of man. I heard he dropped something on us. I know he said Antoine Sims gonna be over there with him too as well. So that's gonna be. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I see a long run. If they got the right structure, if they got the right pieces to the puzzle, I can see them doing something their first year. With his first year being a head coach, he did it already before. His record speaks for itself. His resume speaks for itself. So, man, I love my guys from Pasadena, man. Like it's crazy how much I love my guys, man. And it's not even my guys like that, but we all from Pasadena, so I say my guys, like you feel me, like not my guys like like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like we all from Dena, so my boy, man, my folks, man. I think God has blessed him amongst everything he's faced. I think he was a part of the fires as well. So I just know. Everything happens for a reason, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason, and this is a strategic move. I ultimately know how the coaching carousel goes, so I think he'll be 3.5. I think he'll be 3 or 4 years, even less than that. I think he'll be like 2 years. Um, And to them other coaches, man, y'all better be getting connected with the staff. Y'all better be connected with administration over there. Like he just said, it's been teachers there since when he was in school that are still there. You get what I'm saying? So they word go a long way. It's some of them people over there that can say one word and you in the door. So whoever he brings over there with him, man, I highly suggest you to work on your networking skills, your resourcing skills, and just be more of a people person. You know what I'm saying? Be more of a people person. Be more of a person of because a lot of opportunities can come from you being in this position. So it's not that opportunities couldn't come prior being at John Muir or being in Pasadena or anything like that. It's just that these people are resourced differently, and it's not a public school. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot more resources that come with the Catholic private school or whatever it is. So I just know that this is a man. This is a big part to his resume. This is a big part to his career as a coach. You know what I'm saying? So man, congrats to Lance Mitchell. Congrats to the Mitchell family. Congrats to everybody I mean, I'm proud of him. So I think everybody from the city should be proud of him. There's no reason why, you even have a dry bone in your body about him. You know what I'm saying? Unless y'all got personal issues that y'all haven't talked about, man. You hear it like the guy says, man, he's an open book, not even an open book. He's open. He's open to talk. He's open to have those conversations. So, man, the reason why I asked that question is because there's some people I know from the city that are like that. Like, man, like, they in the room or they in conversations or they at the barbershop. And they want to say it at the barbershop, but they don't really want to go and, talk to the horse whose mouth is coming from. So that's the reason why I asked that question. And I don't ask that question out of drama or anything like that. I just asked that question out of him being able to voice himself to some people who feel like they can't voice themselves to him or to anybody that comes on our platform. You know what I'm saying? So, man, congrats to Lance Mitchell, man, and all that he's done at Mir and for the city of Pasadena, Altadena, and the whole San Gabriel Valley, man. I'm excited for him and everybody who he's taking with him and bringing along with him, man. What you think about, is the next stepping stone for Mr. Mitchell, man?
Man, I'm ecstatic, man. Like I said, me and Lance, we talked, we got a relationship, man, and just to see the growth. I mean, we played against each other in the turkey tussle, and then have an opportunity to coach together. He was the defensive coordinator, I was the DB coach, and now to see the success at Amir, and now this opportunity. Two things I do want to address, man. Excellence attracts opportunity. So for the people who are looking for opportunities, you got to be excellent, man. And like Aaron said, Lance Mitchell, his resume speaks for himself, just as what he did at Mir. This opportunity came up, and St. Francis was looking for a new hire. You cannot deny Lance's his resume, what he did in his 4 years, winning our CLF championship and getting to the playoffs and their record in the Pacific League. On top of that, man, it's all about networking. But there's a scripture, man, that God, he gives you favor with man and himself. And man is that relationship. And if you have a good name and you build relationships and find favor with people, man, you halfway into the door, man. So once again, big ups to Lance, man, and I can't wait to see who he brings on and their success going forward, man. Their success going forward. So, bro, let's get into this other topic, man. I'm gonna share my screen. It's not a video, but it is a picture of this new thing that's going on, man, and I want to say college and pro, but just take a look at this. So this young man right here,
I can't see it.
You can't see it?
Oh, now I can. I had to go back to the other screen.
Okay. This young man right here, James, I don't know how to say his last name. He got drafted in 2023. He was the 31st overall pick. This year, he just committed to Baylor. Now, they say he spent multiple seasons in the G League, and he didn't play college basketball. But because I guess he has some eligibility, he's able to go back and play at Baylor. Now, he is just of one. I've seen a couple of these stories pop up, bro, what are your thoughts about these players being able to go professional and then come back and play in college and get this bag and this NIL money?
Man, I wish I would have knew about it. What the hell? So you know where I'm at.
Hey, that's funny.
I wish I would have knew about it. Then it was crazy because during COVID, I heard a kicker went to the draft and didn't get drafted and went back to Arizona State. That's when I almost lost it because I'm like, this is the same year that I was. Man, I could have did the same thing he did. So I think it's a genius move, bro. I think it's honestly, if it, what do we talk about? Just like we talked about in youth football, man. If there aren't any rules to break, you make the rules. You make the rules. You are the first pillar of history.
Yep.
Like you are the first pillar of history. So, like you said, it's been done before. Now, maybe it's been kept under wraps or anything like that or something like that. But man, look, this is a social media world that we live in, bro. That's the only reason why it's getting looked at like that, bro. That's the only
Nobody would
reason why
know.
this ain't a real topic. This ain't no real ass topic. This ain't no like you feel not like that. But what I'm saying is like this ain't no discussion that we walking up to each other like, man, did you see like this is not that big. You know what I'm saying? This is not like playoffs coming up. This is not like Super Bowl talk. This is not like playoff wild card talk. So for me, this is just social media talk. Social media just sparking up some attention, towards a topic, man. But I honestly think it's genius, bro. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. I think it's genius. I think if you can do it, why not do it?
Man,
If you can do it, why not do it? Because you learn the business side of it, then you go to college and realize that you don't need college. So then it's like, I don't know. I just think with it being switched like that, you just mature a lot quicker. You just mature a lot quicker to have understanding of like, now, okay, I'm only going here to better my life for my kids or to now have this bachelor's or master's just to have it or just to I'm going to college to connect and be resourceful. That's really the only reason why I see it, you know what I'm saying? But I think if you do it, go ahead and do it. If they don't put no rules to it, go ahead, bro. What you think about it?
Facts. I think you need to exhaust every option. And this shows that a lack of development in all sports because this young man, I don't know where he went prior, but to him playing in the G League, get drafted and then playing in the G League for 2 years, and he's like, man, I want to go back. And I doubt he'll get out. Honestly, I doubt that he would get developed in college. But your bag is secure. You feel me? Because people need to understand
you got
it.
Free school, bro.
Yeah.
You got
people
free school.
People need to understand this. When you play professionally, at least for football, I can't speak for basketball. When you play professionally, when you play in different states, they tax you. In college, you play in different states, you don't get taxed. We talking about your NIL money, it don't get taxed like that. It's just like you play in California, you get taxed whatever that tax is. So you don't have to worry about. And there's ways to get around that. When you play professionally, there ain't no ways. You gotta play. You gotta pay those taxes. So like you said, bro, keep doing it until they stop it. So what the outcry is? So what? Fix it. Fix it, man. Fix it. I think it's just funny, man. But yeah, it's nasty work out here.
They need to figure that out on their end.
Yeah. I think for me though, that would be the hardest part. Like from not going from being out of school for 2 years or however long, and then gotta go back in the classroom. Man, I'm not. Me personally, I understand why he would do it, but I'm not doing that, man.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Now we can get into a conversation. Nigga, why is you going to college? What is you doing this for? Why are you going back to college? Now, this is a personal conversation that we have with him. These are the questions that I'm asking him. What is you going back to college for? Did you run into somebody who told you if you go to college, this is going to open this for you? What is your purpose of Like, cause low key, you playing with life. Like you playing with life. Like you didn't get drafted to the NBA, so you going back to college to see if you go and get.
But he did get drafted in the NBA. He just went to the G League. So he got drafted by a team. He never played on in a roster for in a. So let's say he got drafted. I don't know. Let's say he got drafted by Sacramento Kings.
So he's an NBA talent. He's good enough to go to the NBA.
Yeah.
What are you going back to college for? So for me, I think that he's doing it so he can not go back to school. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking he's just doing this just so he does not have to go back to school, and this opportunity presented itself, because what was you doing? You obviously was young enough to go pro in whatever G League or whatever it was. You obviously was good enough to go pro in that. So with you going pro in that, there has to be a big fall off to why you coming back to college. And the only reason why I would think is because he wants to be a potential owner of a business, like not even owner of a business, because you don't need a degree for that, but you want to do something to where you need your degree. Because I don't know what the hell he would come back for if he had the opportunity at like, does he want to maximize his opportunities at the end of the day, bro? He's not even 30, I don't think. So with that being said, like, do whatever you want, but I just got some questions.
Yeah,
I just got some questions. I'm just asking shit like, come on, my boy. Like, you went to the league. You could have went to the real league, and you coming back to go to college. Like, shit, now I'm like, nigga, how much fun you trying to have?
I think it's a couple of things though, right? I believe depending on what team he was at, was he ever gonna play? You feel me? Because let's say if he got drafted by Oklahoma, he not gonna play. It don't matter. And then okay, if somebody do pick you up, but if they like you, they gotta release you of your rights or something like that, right? Or it could be his career was gonna be done altogether, and it was either go overseas, don't play basketball no more, or you still got your eligibility over here.
Money in basketball is guaranteed, bro.
Not in the G League.
that's what I'm saying. So something had to happen in the league to where it didn't work out for him. He can get paid more NIL than he can in the G League.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Or he see a payday and he see this is some guarantee, which ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, let's look up how much they offered him in an NIL deal. He was a overall 31 pick in the 2023 draft. 4 seasons in the Euro League.
He's a 7-footer from Nigeria.
How old?
He played for the Charlotte Hornets in the NBA Summer League this year. He's never played. He's never played in an NBA game.
Yeah, that'll mess his eligibility up. But I'm saying though, how is he able to do all this?
So that's what I understand, because when you go pro, you are not able to go back to college. So I don't know how they're able to do this at all. And you mentioned that kicker. Well, they said that you can go into the draft as long as you don't hire an agent, and if you don't get picked up, you can also go back in college football. Now I don't know if that's the case. It's smart. I don't know if that's the case for this, but yeah, we gonna monitor the situation, because if he able to do it, a lot of people gonna do it. I'll tell you that. Like you said,
bro, it just said that. It just said. I mean, if that's what we gonna do, shame on the NCAA, but shame on the NCAA, because coaches are gonna do what they gotta do.
And this is, like I said, other coaches are doing this in college basketball. They're getting. I saw Michigan State is looking at a guy. Also seen in baseball, they're discussing this, where a guy is on a AAA team, and they was like, shoot, he still got eligibility left in college, so let's bring him back. Hey, man. Yeah, the only part for me, like I said, going back to school, nah, kill it. Any school, online, anything. That's the only thing. The only thing. But let's move on, bro, because we got some news last week, and you know, this is major, bro. Flag football is taking over big time. And the NFL announced that they are spending $32 million. We talking about with an M. $32 million for a flag football league for women. Bro, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh man, another investment, creating more pathways. And this is honestly, I think they're doing this now to set up. They doing this now to set up the momentum going into the Olympics. Because I think the Olympics is in 2028.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think this all has everything to do with. I think the timing and the structure and all that has to do with it coming out and it being an Olympic sport. So I can see why the investment came now. Why the investment is that much. They know all the behind the scenes shit I don't know about. But how do I get in it? Is it only for NFL players?
No. So this is for the girls. This is for girls.
Oh, you can say girls.
Mm-hmm. This is for women. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to do men's flag football as well. Why not? You feel me? But you know, this is just a start for like I said, for women, and it probably will be men, but I guess they trying to focus on women for the most part.
Yeah, they're gonna turn women's flag into an Olympic sport. So I mean, either way it go, I think either way it go, it's definitely an investment. I think either way it go, it's an investment to the NFL, and they got a couple tricks up their sleeve to because I think this is gonna open up the women having like I said, I keep getting back in my head the Olympics. So it's going. They doing this for the Olympics. Honestly, I really honestly think they doing this because women's flag football is going to be professional. So just having that, and then shit, they want to have a hand in the pot.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
They want to have a hand in the pot too. Like shit, if I see somebody on my block, man, you know how I go.
Mm-hmm. Big time. On top of that, man, like you said, yes, the Olympics does play a big part, but they want more people to be introduced to football. And women, for the most part, do not watch football. But now, if we're able to tap in, because you know we have some young ladies that represent us on TV and playing, you definitely believe it.
More money,
We're gonna tap into that,
like
more
a
sponsor
grocery store.
dollars, stuff like that.
Everybody go to the grocery store.
Yeah, so you know
Mhm.
everybody can play flag football. Everybody's accessible. You know, tackle football. You know, even there are some girls who can play, but not everybody can play. So it's very far and few. But flag football definitely. I think, and we talked about our guest Ed is on here because Ed is doing the same thing, just a little different concept. Well, we'll see how you know the NFL structure this, but you know, got some competition, man. You know, you going up against this corporation now with $32 million investment, and you know, it'd be interesting who comes out. It's not even about who's first, but who business model makes sense. And I also want to transition because it also said that college football, I believe in 2027 or 2028, that flag football will be a scholarship sport for girls in college at certain schools. I believe UCLA was
It
one of them.
already is.
Yeah, but I'm talking about major, like I believe UCLA, and they're going to be competing though, because it might be already a scholarship, but they're not playing on teams. They're going to be competing against other schools, and they are in
Well,
the
it's just not like at higher levels. I know
yeah,
some colleges are so
yeah,
so they're gonna push the sport.
yeah. So these
All
teams,
right, all right, all
yeah,
right.
these teams are talking
Like
about
that.
having these teams scholarships for them, right? And they're playing against competitive games against other schools. So
Oh yeah,
all of
that's gonna
this,
be fire.
yeah, all of this is
See, we
building
gotta
up.
start a live stream. We gotta start a live stream company for them, or we gotta do for real, bro. ESPN ain't about to have that on ESPN.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. We gotta do our thing on that for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
ESPN is not about to sit up here and have Colorado versus UCLA every week, or they're not about to do that, bro. They're not
Uh,
about to do that.
let's see how many teams it's supposed to be. I believe. Let me see.
NCAA 500.
No. But I'm just talking about like that's coming out at first, and then that's it's gonna be a
Oh, trend
sample
setting
size.
teams. Trend setting
Yeah,
teams. Who the
it's
trend
gonna be a
setting teams?
sample size, and then it's gonna because not everybody can afford it though. Too, you feel me?
Man, shit. They didn't know what to do when they introduced that NIL. Shh. Now everybody got money. Yeah, I want to see this.
And we gotta also notice, you feel me? We talking about NIL. Yes, it's true, but the thing is, like, there is, and Trent Dilfer talked about this. There's a lot of coaches though too, or a lot of schools that because the school is able to give 20 million max. That's the cap, and that money is allocated to all the sports. A lot of schools are not getting to 20 million. So for them to start a football team, a flag football team, um, it may not be possible at the moment. Um, but it says right now there's no fixed number, but college flag football, girls flag football, women's flag football is in a low 100 nationwide, and the number is still growing. It says at least 65 NCAA schools sponsor, so that's a big thing. Sponsor flag football or either the club or varsity level for the 24 and 25 academic year. All right, so yeah.
So I think with that, since you don't have that much alumni, that's going to be a 10-year process.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be big. It's saying
It's going to be big, but they got to get the right money invested. Like they got to get the right money invested, if that makes sense. Like, and of course we know they are, but what I'm saying is like, where do you get your money from? Like, it's not like this program has been around for years to where now somebody could just be like, oh, I went there. Let me give him $1 million. You get what I'm saying? Like, so this is like, that's what I'm saying. Like like when it's going to be a national sport, like a real national sport, give it about 10 years.
so it says that the NFL is also investing in conferences. So they are investing in Atlantic East
Oh
and
yeah, they
Empire
trying to
8.
own it. They owning it. They gonna own it. They gonna own
Yeah.
it.
So
They're gonna.
yeah. So
Well, are we talking about college?
yes. So they invest in putting money. The
The
NFL is
NFL is
investing.
gonna own the college.
Well, they might own the conference. I don't know about the college, but they're gonna own the conferences possibly. But it would make sense for them to do that because once again, they want a pipeline of these athletes once again to showcase and stuff like that. So in 1 or 2 seasons, there'll be a major jump before 2027 regarding this, and we will see more teams and more females. I think it's awesome, man. I mean, I think being a father of 3 girls, right? I think it's another avenue now to get paid because let's be honest. Let's talk about sports that girls can play and get a scholarship or possibly get paid at the end of your career. Track is very difficult because you got to be elite across the world to get paid in track. And even if you are elite, if you are the top, you have to win, and your life is basically like sponsorship and winning. So that's hard. Basketball, It's not too many elite. I mean, there's a lot of competition as far as basketball, right?
It's
Let's
getting
go.
better.
Let's go into track. I mean, not track. Let's go into swimming. Not everybody can swim. Golf. That's elite. You got to be elite. Gymnastics is kind of tough. That's around track as well as far as sponsorships and stuff like that. That's not nothing. Tennis. You got to be elite in that as well, right? Volleyball. I don't know. I don't know about volleyball getting paid. I couldn't tell you about that. I never really heard like somebody make
Yeah,
a
they
living
got the
volleyball.
they got the Olympic volleyball where they do the sand volleyball and all that stuff, but I don't know how much they get paid.
Yeah,
They got pickleball coming up.
but you feel
Pickleball, but
me?
pickleball like track, you gotta get sponsors.
Yeah, so pickleball. So you telling me now I can possibly get paid as far as basketball, football, because these are many bodies now on the field. It's not just a one or a small team. So yeah, man, this is something that as a father of three girls, like I said, like, hey, there's opportunity over here. You got this. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. So yeah, this is something that's dope for the ladies, and of course we're gonna see some men flag football as well. Gonna be dope, man. So let's get into this. Let's get into flag or no flag, man. Flag or no flag. So I came across a post on X, and I'm not sure if he was a recruiter, a coach, or something like that. But here along the lines, he said that a player got offered, and because it was not at a D1 that he wanted to attend, or a D1 program at all, that he turned down an offer. And he said essentially it's like, kids need to be more appreciative of offers, especially in this time and day. Do you think that's a flag on these athletes who are turning down these offers?
Hey, I know they say everything free is not good, but this is not one of those scenarios. This is a free education. This is a free, this is a free, this is somebody inviting you to be more successful. And you're saying, I don't want to be successful at the place that you want me to be successful at. I disagree. That's a flag. That's a flag. I think if any college, I don't care. I don't think JC offers, but here I know when I was in Southern Utah, there's a school up there, Snow College. Um, they offer kids scholarships, and they're junior college. Um, it was a lot of kids excited and things like that. But for me, I would never get excited over a junior college offer. So I think you be excited over any offer. Well, I just think what they're offering, let me just say that. Let me take that back because what they're offering, something is given for free because they notice the talent within you. So, like, I agree to it being a flag, but I'm just elaborating a little bit because who are you to decide that you don't want to, that you're turning this scholarship down, number one? Who are you thinking about with turning this scholarship down? Why are you turning this scholarship down? Who are you? Like I said, back to saying that, who are you to turn this scholarship down? Now, do you have other scholarship opportunities where you could turn this down and now pick up on something else, or is just this your only opportunity? Um, which definitely has a bigger scale, a bigger weight scale of what is what and this, that, and the other. But I just feel like if that's your only offer, or that's the only few offers, you give every single offer that's offering a free education, you give them a considerable chance to you give them the chance. You don't just like you don't number one, man, yeah, you give them the opportunity, man. You give them the opportunity. It's a flag, bro. It's a flag. Who are you to tell them that you're not? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I just think if you turning down free education, um, and I'm speaking like this, being from where I'm from, it could be a kid out here like it could be it could be a kid in a different situation that I'm in, and he's got about 8 or 9 offers, and he has that authority to turn it down. But in the position I was in, and I'm coming out of high school, and I didn't have no offers like that, I'm not turning nothing down. Only thing I'm turning down is my collar money. So I'm not turning down all free education opportunities. So for me, I think that's a flag. What you think, bro?
I think it's situational, man, because I turned down some offers. I had some offers at some D2s. And I knew I was better than that, and I was. And I've talked to the coach recently this year, and he discussed. He's like, Ernest, he was like, you had the talent. It was no issue. It was just, nobody wanted to take a chance with your size. But he was like, if you were playing in this day and age, he said you will be able to guide to go to a D2 and then go to a D1 and be starting. He's like, there's no doubt about it. But I think it still is a flag. And I said it's situational, man. Everybody's situation is different. I don't know the young man. I don't know who he's talking about, the young man. But according to the person, he mentioned that he had little to no offers. See, what people got to understand, though, too, just because you offer me something, you still got to weigh the cost of it. Because there is a cost at the end of the day. My time, where it's going to be, location. And I've said this before, for some people, going and leaving and going to an environment is bad for them. It's actually more detrimental to go to college for some people. Some of the people I know personally, they go to college and get in trouble and mess up their life. And they not even like that, but because they leave their environment that is actually good for them to be in, they leave it and now left to their own, it's more detrimental for their life. So I can't say for every situation, you turning down something because I don't know the situation for the young man. And we gotta understand though too, depending on if you go to JUCO or not, JUCO is free. Honestly, it is free. You don't pay for JUCO. You just giving up some time and whatnot. Now you paying for other things because school is taken care of if you are in that state and you at certain states or whatnot. Like for California,
If you got that in-state tuition,
that's what I'm talking about. So you get the Bob waiver. You don't have to pay for anything. For people who do not know that, JUCO is free for you. You don't have to pay for no schooling. Now travel and stuff like that, which you would have to pay if you went somewhere else and you had a transportation. You have to pay for travel. So the reason why I think it's a flag though is because if you don't consider it, that is the reason. If it was because you saw the name and you was like, oh no, I'm good. Like, at least for my situation, it was not gonna be a full scholarship, and I didn't want my parents to pay that. And I knew I can get a scholarship. I just knew. I believed in myself. And but yeah, other than that, it's a flag if you do not consider it. If you consider it, you weigh the option, you like, nah, you know what, I'm gonna choose this. I that's the only reason why it's a flag to me, man. That's a flag. And we gotta stop. This is me. I can't speak for everybody else. We gotta stop. I think we gotta stop crucifying or judging these kids because something is free and they're turning it down. Because if
it's circumstantial or situational, that's where I'm understanding. But I don't understand if you don't have anything and you from an environment like I'm from and you scratch it to get out of your environment. So I was speaking from like an empathy perspective, like having empathy for somebody who's in my same situation. But I totally understand if you have other opportunities, even if you don't have other opportunities, if the place is not for you and you just got this offer because your uncle was up there and your uncle was like, dude, it's cold up here. You ain't gonna like it. You gonna, man, but I'm gonna offer you just because I'm up here. But I totally understand.
But not even you, because it's parents, it's people talking about how college football is dead, but there's kids turning down offers. Let's be respectful, and let's be honest. Did you go to school? Did you only go to school to get an education?
I put myself in no.
So to say that we get a free education, education don't mean nothing though. Now, if you telling me as a person who do not care about education, because education, like I said, doesn't do anything in this environment and what the world we're living in, man,
That's all we need to do.
You are getting an opportunity to network. You're able to connect with other people. Now you are selling me something that actually means something than a piece of paper that means absolutely nothing. And in actuality, I'm come here to play sports to do that. I didn't come here just to get an education, regardless of our individual plays ever again in college or whatnot. The whole thing was for them is my goal was to play football and go here. If they feel like that's not a good, that's not up for us, and rather it's a good choice or not, they're gonna figure it out. Because it's some people who I know that's like, man, if I do it again, I wouldn't have chosen there. But because they gave me an offer and I had nothing else, I would have went to JUCO or I would have saw what other options. I just didn't know, and I chose this. And because they couldn't transfer when we was growing up, I had to stay there, and I wish I would have left. So that's why I'm not even talking about us in general. I'm just talking about people in general. Like, and every situation is different. You gotta understand everything doesn't fit everybody, so we can't be condemning kids who are turning down these scholarships and these offers. Can't do it. Can't do it, man. Yeah, bro. So any other things next time we're gonna bring up that John Calipari. I don't know if you've been hearing his rants and his things on social media, but we're gonna talk about it next time, bro. He been going in. He been going in about the transfer portal and everything. We gotta talk about that.
Yeah, let's bring that up on that next segment we get, man. It's I'm about to check out this USC game at the Valero Bowl.
Oh yeah, they about to get popped. Who they play?
TCU, they winning right now, 10-7.
Oh, you saw the DC about to leave for SC?
Who's in DC?
Oh, see, never mind, man. You ain't no SC fan. It's all right.
Man, I don't like names I don't know like that, bro. That's what I'm like, bro. I ain't trying.
Bro, how you SC fan? You don't know who the DC is?
Because I get so tired of them, I don't pay attention.
He going to Penn State though next. That's reported.
I did see that.
It's not confirmed. So he going to Penn State next year.
He's going. I did see that. I forgot his name. I did see that though. I did see that. I came across my mind. I did see that. But bro, I ain't got another. I just want y'all to win. So if you can't win, as all these coaching changes and shit like that, that is the last question I'm asking somebody. Who's the coach? Shit, because there's so much shit going on.
But that's important. You need to know who the coach. And that's determines if you're gonna win.
Ask me when the season starts. Ask me when the season starts. You got a shuffle deck of cards going on. It's 100 cards going through the deck right now. And you saying, I don't know who the coach is. But I did hear about that, though, man. Congratulations to him and his family, bro. I think when you, man, who Penn State head coach?
Matt Campbell, they just hired from Iowa State.
I mean, there's so much movement going around.
And we got to talk about that Michigan hire, too. I like that hire. That's dope.
I love that. I love that, bro. I love that. I always thought like different about the LDS community, but I see like I didn't think that he could leave his like ward and stuff like that because of his background and his religion and stuff like that. Not even that he couldn't, like he was restricted or something like that. I just was like, damn, bro, like
they booted him out.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm saying like he's on his end. I've given him 20-something years. I could have been out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so now when the people move you out, that's where you feel me, like where it's like, oh, okay, well, shit, all right, well,
Because it was reported. I thought he was done last year. It was reported that he wasn't
Yeah,
returning.
something came out last year. I thought he was done. I thought they said his brother was gonna get the job or something like that.
No, the DC, the person who got it now, but like they said, he was in waiting and they was afraid to lose him, and he was the next young and up and coming thing. We gonna see if it play out because
Yeah,
they
he about to
possibly.
go over to the Wolverines, boy. He finna bring that big house back, boy.
Hey, all I know, they gonna be a physical team because that's how Utah is. They run the ball and play defense. So yeah, man.
Yeah, he finna get them real Polynesians up there where they about to be a little more layered up on that front line along with them white boys, man.
You think he gonna get him up there? Cause I asked him, I was like, man, I think it's gonna be tough, man, selling Michigan, man.
I said that too, but shit, I think it is gonna be kind of hard to get them up there. They're in Utah.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, they're in Utah. So like it's easy for you to but I mean just think, aren't they in the same Big Ten, right?
No. What you calling the Big 12? Utah and Big
Big
12.
12, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
It was one of them big. But so for me it's just like, man, I think it's gonna be I don't know. I want to watch how it play out, bro. I really don't got no opinion about this one just because you don't see them up there. You never see them.
Mm-hmm.
But the LDS community is so like they so supportive, bro. Like I guarantee you, it's a ward up there. They're gonna start coming out of the woodworks.
Yep. And let's keep it a buck. Michigan resources NIL is much bigger than Utah, so they definitely can afford them if they really want them to come out there. You feel me? Definitely
They're
can.
gonna do it, bro. Like you gotta think, bro. He's been doing something for 20 years. He's used to something, bro. He's going back to that. Like, come on, bro. This is how he has been winning. Like, this is how he feels like he has been winning. You know what I'm saying? So, I personally feel like this is I think he'll get them Poly boys up there, man. I think he'll get them Poly boys up there along with some other great talent as well, man. But I definitely think the big house is back, man. I definitely think the big house is back, man. So,
Yeah, we will.
I definitely feel like that. That's just me, in my opinion.
Yeah. Man, you gonna hit up Lance, bro, to be the DB coach over there, bro? Come back to Dina.
Oh, it definitely was something I thought about, man. Definitely was something I was thinking about.
Hey, we gonna talk about that offline, man. We're gonna talk about it offline.
Yeah, man.
Man, to be continued, man. But
Numbers
bro,
gotta be right.
hey, what'd you say? They gotta be right, huh?
Yeah, I'm not moving. I ain't moving unless if I start telling people. Well, I mean, when I get back going, I'm not moving. But if I'm in the position that I'm in right now, I'm out of here.
Hey, like you said, is it a flag or no flag? You turn that on offers. It gotta make sense. It gotta make sense, buddy.
Scenario is circumstantial situational, man. Circumstantial situational, man.
Facts.
Circumstantial situational, man. That's a good thing. But we had a good segment tonight, man. We thank y'all for tuning in, man. We got more coming, man. Shout out to Lance Mitchell, St. Francis Golden Knights, new head coach. Man, shout out to everybody from Pasadena that's moving up that totem pole, man. As you see, man, it takes time, but understand how people use their time wisely. You know what I'm saying? Lance used his time when he first got there to Mirror, and developed himself over time. So now it's put him in a better position, I'm sure, financially. It's put him in a better position to have more resources for kids. So now you guys are going to really be able to see the difference in between a PUSD and other local school districts out there. You know what I'm saying? You guys are now going to be able to see why guys could do 3 years and Pasadena can't hold on to guys who've been alumni and who have records at the school. And You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So you guys are gonna see, man, when people appreciate you, they really appreciate you. So you're gonna see when you're not appreciated, you're gonna feel when you're not appreciated, I don't think you should be there. So I don't think it has anything to do with that. But I just want you guys to pay attention to the differences of things that do come and the things that are to come in Lance Mitchell's life, and how man, if you ask me, I think he's gonna prosper in the same exact but more enhanced, if that makes sense. He's gonna be more enhanced. He's gonna be more accessible, and he's definitely gonna be more of a resource. Now that he's over there at St. Francis, and his value is getting appreciated. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'm glad to have Lance Mitchell on here. And like I said, man, I'm glad to have anybody from Pasadena that comes on here and you know, that's willing to, you know, be vulnerable and let us know, you know, what they're going through, how they're going through stuff, and then also giving back. Giving back, like, man, just giving that game back on. That's I think that's one of the main questions that we always ask guys. Like, man, like, with what you're doing now, how are you gonna give it back to somebody? Or are you the same person when you came into this career now than you were then? So, and if you aren't, or if you are, man, just help somebody, you know, walk that path where they don't run into any bumps, or they don't walk the same path that you have if it was a bit difficult or things like that. So, man, I think the biggest thing is, man, we throwing flags on the culture, but we also want y'all to understand that we giving back, man. We giving knowledge, we giving game, that some people beg to have conversations with these people. Some people beg to have these type of questions, or some people even have these questions that they're not able to ask, and that's the answer right there. Ultimately, without having to be stressed out or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just want to thank Lance. I want to thank Coach Ike, Coach Arnett, man, and you know, we moving up in our episodes, man. We doing everything we can, man, and we just genuinely just putting our content out there. Of course, we get better as we grow and as we come, but we thank y'all for tapping in with us, man. Flag on the culture, man.
Always, man. Definitely, bro. Man, once again, Happy New Year's to you guys, man. Hope you guys are safe. Enjoy. And, bro, we'll be talking, bro.
All right, Nash.
All right, man.